Joe, can we kindly kill the music and start with the music? Turn it down just a little bit. I'm hearing bad noise from the microphone. Sorry, Joe. A little bit of bad noise. I don't know what it was, but there was some bad noise. Bad noise. I don't know if it was from the microphone, but there was a little bit of bad noise. So I wanted to mention, I think it was probably over 10 years ago, I was conversing with an older woman who was estranged from her daughter. She had 2 children, I believe, and both of the children were estranged. And I don't know where the conversation went up. I think I was talking about my father to her, like the difficult things about my father. And then the conversation came to her daughter. And she said, well, her daughter, her father kind of maybe manipulated things or this or that. And she put her own kind of spin on it. And I said, well, what does your daughter say? What does your daughter tell you? And she said a few things. And I don't know if I asked her, I said, do you think your daughter's being dishonest about what she says? And then she wanted to end the conversation. And it's kind of like what's going on right now on social media. Social media, the anti-racist left does not want to have a conversation. They want to dictate terms to you. And it kind of reminds me of some of the friendships I've had with people that were manipulators, because the first thing they do is they try to manipulate you, and then when they cannot manipulate you, they use force against you, and they use enough force to make an example out of you. My question really is, what nation was not built by conquest? And did Europeans do it in a worse way than other racial or ethnic groups? It's just a question. I want to mention that there are people out there who get really upset at the terms that I use. I use the word European descent. And a gentleman on one of my local Facebook pages, I guess, lectured me about that. I don't know why that's a term that can't be used, but they all say it's a white.
What did he tell you to do?
He said it was a white supremacist term or a white nationalist term, the word European descent. And he said, and they dictate terms of what you're allowed to say and what you are not allowed to say. And so I've noticed that there's been quite a bit of manipulation out there. And then when they cannot manipulate, they will use force, and they do have the power of the establishment. And when people can get you fired, and if you're out on the street and you want to preach, they will assault you. And they have a rather large following, a large and fanatical following. And they absolutely believe that they are in the right and absolutely correct. But usually fanatics
Do you
are not.
think this happens in every city across the country?
Yes, yeah, and even in smaller cities, this anti-racist left has really it's all over the United States. This anti-racist left, and
Now,
it's
is this guy an anti-racist, the one lecturing you,
oh
um,
oh
or
yeah.
was he just kind of neutral at least?
He no, he lectures, and he basically he does not believe in freedom of speech. He said the same dialogue, the freedom to hate, or Nazis don't have freedom of speech.
Mhm.
Which, and then everybody that disagrees with him is obviously a Nazi, and is allowed to be punched in the face because they believe that they're like the soldiers who stormed the beaches of Normandy, uh, and fought the Nazis during World War II. Which a lot of I continue to remind these people that a lot of the people who fought in World War II fought the Nazis in World War II, and also the ones who fought imperialist Japan in World War II also fought the communist in the Korean War. They fought the communist Chinese, and they fought the communist North Koreans, and the communist Soviet Union during the Korean War. And yeah, so these individuals are completely blind to that fact. I mean, and a lot of them are authoritarian. Some call them authoritarian communist or authoritarian leftist. It does surprise me how many people just don't see it and don't see their behavior. To me, it is rather dangerous.
It's interesting that I see a lot of different um, ways of dealing with these things, a lot of different ideals, a lot of like just basically people who are on the spectrum, on the far opposite spectrum from where you're at, and they will say the same thing. I can't believe they don't see it. I hear that a lot.
You know what I mean? And but the difference between them and me is I will talk to them, they won't. I have no problem with
I
talking.
I definitely agree that that is the the there's more opportunity at this point to carry the conversation further, perhaps. But if you're not offering the ability for people to comment engage in the discourse, to me, that's almost an invalidating factor. Almost. I mean, it may even just be if there's something that has some strong beliefs, and I can't have my point of view shared in that comment thread. That says a whole lot about what I'm looking at.
Yeah. And that's the point. I mean, and anybody, and these groups. I mean, I wonder if any of these people that you've talked to believe that it's okay to shut down speech that they don't like.
That hasn't really taken off as much as like the first maybe month into lockdown. I remember in April, May, I heard more kind of rumblings about that sort of thing, and I don't hear it as much from anyone. Comes up less in my world, but that's just my experience. Do you feel that that narrative is still growing? Do people want to end funding of certain do you have any specifics? Are you talking about the police, for example?
It's not police. I mean, this is run by the mob, and
No, but they're saying don't fund things, but what are they saying not to fund?
well, they do say don't fund the police, but they're not saying that as much now. They're backpedaling from that because it's unpopular. But they do believe in political violence. Maybe not all of them, but enough of them believe in political violence where they will use it, and they won't be, like a lot of these individuals won't be punished for the political violence that they perpetrate. Yeah, I mean, Joe, let me ask you this. I know you're not like you're not political, you're not that political or anything like that, but would you feel safe wearing a Trump hat in Los Angeles?
Um, I would feel safe I would feel safe. I wouldn't be surprised though if I heard a lot more comments.
Would you feel safe if your car had a Trump sticker on it? Would you feel safe?
I I don't like it when people have labels slapped across the back of their car. I don't like it at all. Um,
But do you think your car, like, would you feel comfortable like that your car would not get vandalized?
I don't know. It's To me, it's just asking for it. I don't know why people do that. So I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I'm not sure what people with bumper stickers go through. I ignore them. Um, I think it's really. I don't know if you remember these, but back in the early 80s, maybe 1979, 80, 81, they used to have these little handheld, uh, kind of like little signs, and it was on like a sort of like a Rolodexy thing, and you could flip the sign, and it would say different messages, and it was designed for drivers of car or people in cars, basically. So if somebody cut you off, you could flip to the sign that says, "F you, buddy," and somehow that was a popular thing. You could imagine that some people got very offended when people were doing this, probably for no reason. Um, to me, that's what a bumper sticker is now. It's the same idea, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of having a bumper sticker on because it's like it basically it's not intelligent because it does incite people at times. But the fact that the hostility against people with different points of view, particularly conservatives, that they're attacked, and the establishment has supported this attack is the main reason that I do support conservatives because look, we do have. By the way, we have Jamal X. I'd love for Jamal X to call in because Joe, can you put your number up on the screen? I wonder if Jamal X is near a phone. He could
I
absolutely.
will post it.
And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that is the real Jamal X. He is a person who is one of the more vindictive individuals out there. He does, by the way, Jamal X is one of the anti-racist leftists that supports uh, physical violence, and I think he threatened Andy Ngo at one time. Which, by the way, Andy Ngo is one of the biggest pacifists out there, and for people to threaten him is kind of not a good thing. But and he basically DTM.
All right.
Okay.
So the Skype line is open, and
Yes.
they posted the number right there. It's 310-668-1969. Call on in.
So Jamal, truth is, I am for the truth, no matter who tells it. I'm for justice, no matter who tells it. For or against. I'm a human being first and foremost, and as such, I am for whoever and whatever benefits humanity as a whole. It's interesting. I wonder what does benefit humanity as a whole. And there are people who have benefited from liberal or I don't want to say leftist policies, but humanity is only strengthened by freedom of speech. And governments only do well when you have a conversation and when one gets so Darren asked, does Marxism help society in the long run? Probably not. But I think ego.
All right, we have a caller. Hello there, caller. You are on with Brian. How's it going?
I am not violent.
Well, we have you on. I was hoping for Jamal X.
Little bit of a letdown.
We have I guess the exact opposite, which is Howard, also known as One Angry Jew.
The One Angry Jew is not the exact opposite of anything.
Well, you okay? But by the way, now it looks like
you should say by the by, not by the way.
By the way, by the by, by you, by who, by me. It looks like President Trump is behind in the polls, and he may lose. Since you're in Thailand, I wonder, and you sometimes have some inside information. What is your opinion on the matter of the polling and the presidential race as far as it is stacking up?
I think that Trump has a good chance of losing. And then America loses. And I'll go to Israel, get a passport, and probably renounce citizenship.
Yeah.
What would be the benefit there?
Not having to deal with the United States and paperwork and anything else. The United States will no longer be the United States. It will no longer be the land of the free. It's barely the land of the free now. And that'll be the end of any conservative hope that anything will come up after Trump. Once Trump is out, even in 4 years from now, if he gets back in and then he's out, America's over because the millennials will take over, and you'll have people like Hurricane Dean running things, idiots, morons, losers.
That may very well be.
My advice to you and everybody else is go where you're treated best. It won't be the United States.
Well, I certainly well, since I'm not of Jewish heritage, I certainly cannot immigrate to Israel, even though I'm a somewhat of a Zionist and I do support Israel. I don't think I could immigrate there, even if I have some fairly well standing financially. But one of the things
you'd have to marry a gay man in Israel, I would imagine, and you'd have to marry a Jew. It's just because I'm a Jew, I get citizenship. Everybody that goes with me gets citizenship too. I'm thinking of taking 3.
Huh.
Well, I am. Yeah.
Going to take several ties. Going to take several ties with me. One of them including my son, and everybody becomes a citizen upon landing.
That's cool. You know, one of the things that I've thought of doing is, I mean, that they've talked about is making America to a degree like the UN and having 50 separate nation states.
It's not going to happen. America's essentially over. Even if Trump wins, he may have a lasting effect on the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court can only deal with what the laws are. So when Congress changes a law, the Supreme Court has got to deal with that particular law unless it's absolutely unconstitutional. But you're not going to see the country be what it's been. Yeah, I would like to see the country back when it was what it was in the 1950s and 1960s.
How about the 1920s? It hasn't been the same since 1933.
March the 6th of 1933.
Oh, my birthday.
Thanks for doxing yourself.
You don't know what year. Well, I'd probably mention that too.
Yeah. So the millennials will take over and they'll destroy everything. They're already destroying it. You're already seeing it.
Yeah, it's been designed this way. This is what's going on.
The anti-racist left that's in charge right now is they're part of Generation X. Susan Wojcicki's part of Generation X. Bashai, the gentleman who is head of Google, is part of Generation X. And I did a whole thing about, Oprah. I mean, it's kind of the Oprah generation that kind of got brainwashed into that. And these people don't want to debate, and they don't want to be questioned. They want to manipulate you. And if you don't fall for the manipulation, they will then use power. And they have the power. I mean, they have the power. They have the power of the media, and if you and then they have the power to censor you on social media. So they won't put out anything on social media. I mean, on the mainstream media, and they will censor you on social media.
I've told you several times, if you have the money to get out, get out. Get out of the dollar, for one thing. Get yourself some gold, and don't put all your eggs in the basket of the dollar, because you're going to lose.
Now, you bought a bunch of gold a while back, right?
I'm sitting on quite a bit of gold, yes.
Nice.
Physical gold.
Real money.
Physical gold.
But also known as real money.
Well, do you know what a dollar is?
It's nothing close to gold. If you're talking about paper money.
Well, no, that's not entirely true. Do you know what a dollar is, though? Not a Federal Reserve note, a dollar.
I would just say a Federal Reserve note, but what is it?
Have you ever seen a United States note?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
You know what? I know there's a difference, but I don't know what the difference
well, there's
is.
Certainly, okay. So if one is a United States note and the other is a Federal Reserve note, I think you could just say by the sheer name, there's a difference.
Yeah.
So who issued the last United States notes?
I would have said the Federal Reserve.
No, the Federal Reserve doesn't issue United States notes. They have nothing to do with that.
Then I don't know.
The United States notes are backed by the Treasury. They're not backed by the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
The last United States notes were issued by Kennedy, and we all know what happened to him.
Yeah, he faked his death. But anyways, go on.
The United States notes is backed by the Treasury. It's not backed by fiat money. It's not backed by any of that crap. It's real money. Now, if you look at old bills, you'll see that they used to say that this note can be redeemed in lawful money, meaning that the note's not money. What the note can be redeemed for is lawful money meant gold or silver. A dollar is defined as a specific measurement of silver or gold.
Okay, but you're way off track here. Get back to the point.
No, I'm plenty on track. You're just not following me. You don't have the requisite knowledge to follow what I'm saying. That's not my fault.
All right. I don't know what you're referring to, but go on.
See, I don't even understand what you just said. You don't know what I'm referring to, but go on. If you don't understand what I'm saying, why would you want me to go on?
Because I really don't care what you think I know or don't know, but go on with your point.
I think that, well, not I think, I know that you don't know. When you tell me that you really don't know the difference between
you don't know. You think you don't know. You don't know. We'll keep it there.
You haven't proven to me that you have knowledge of anything.
Okay. Well, fine.
Regarding Federal Reserve notes, regarding what a dollar really is supposed to be, and what a United States note is.
Howard, are you here to follow the path of the conversation or fight?
We do have other people listening.
Debbie's here. We can get Debbie in here for you if you want that.
It's been meandering, so if you want to tell me what the path is, go ahead.
Well, if you're listening to Brian, then
yes.
Okay, so why don't you just carry on from where Brian left off? Why don't you go back to Conquest? Why don't you go back to his idea about Conquest ethic?
Yes,
and
Conquest ethic.
Conquest what?
Conquest ethic. Is this a racial term?
I don't know what that means.
It's called Conquest. Okay, it's called Stoic Calm, Conquest Ethic, and White Guilt.
Yes.
This is the title of the show.
Different thoughts. So how do you put them together?
What do you mean?
There's several different thoughts. White guilt is a thought.
Yes.
Ethics, by the way, it should be ethics. You need to pluralize that. And conquest, I don't think the two words conquest and ethics go together.
Really?
Well, you're not exactly known for coming up with grammatically correct or really ideological.
There's no such term as. Wait, are you Howard? Are you saying that there is no such term as conquest ethic? The conquest ethic?
I think you could make a term for anything. They're making it up as they go along. Well, I have no idea what it means because I speak English.
Okay.
I speak English, unlike some people who can't speak English at all, although they were born here, and this is the only language that they learned. You're not following?
I mean, I have a tough time defining conquest ethic. I can't find it anywhere as a.
Well, then it doesn't exist. It's made up.
But I know, but Brian, to Brian, it has meaning. And
Well, a donut has meaning to Brian, but that doesn't mean that.
Not only that, but somebody pointed out to him that it was a term used by racists. I might be misquoting. Brian can tell you, but somebody actually did comment on it.
All right, wait a second. When these idiots, these morons, tell us that what was it? I lost my thought for a second. When these idiots tell us that math is racist, they can go fuck themselves, because not only are they insane, but they have nothing really to add to any conversation.
All right.
Math is racist. Make some sense out of that for me, because I can't. Math is probably the closest thing to truth that there is. And yet, we have idiots walking around saying math is racist. 1 and 1 can't equal 2, 2 and 2 can't equal 4. It must be something else. Why would anybody listen to these people? I mean, in another time, they'd be put in a mental asylum. Where they belong.
Someone is saying that you are trolling, Howard. You are being a troll.
I could care less who says I'm being a troll. I'm speaking truth.
Okay. So do you believe that ethic and conquest do not go hand in hand?
I have no idea what that means. You haven't defined it. Conquest. What, conquest of what?
Well, of land.
Okay, explain that, because I'm not getting the tie-in to this program.
Well, what nation was not built on conquest? Is there any nation that was not built on conquest?
I don't think I could name one, except for one of the beginning nations. Why? What's that got to do with what you said earlier?
Well, is conquest ethical or unethical?
Conquest is as ethical as anything else. That's the way things go.
There we go.
Powerful overtake the weak.
There we go.
Nation right now in America full of men who act like women, women who act like men. Have you not seen these women walking up to the cops and screaming in their face? The men don't do that. The women are doing it. So you've got the roles reversed. I said this before. Why do you think that people come to Asia, other than you think it's for well, there is no sex being sold in Asia. If it is, it's at rock bottom dollars now. But do you think that people come to Asia and seek these Asian women for any other reason except for the fact that in their home countries they can't find women that are women? Women don't act like women. They act like men. And what real man would want a woman that acts like a man?
Well, I found this one funny. I don't know why.
You found what funny? You missed. I don't get it. What?
Never mind. I was just something that something that was stated by Nick. Not Nick, but by Debbie. But
what was funny to you?
Just what Debbie posted. Said that when I go to a strip club, I think of the conquest ethic, is what she said. So.
Do you not agree with what I said?
What did you say? You said so much.
I said that now women act like men and men act like women in America.
It seems to be that way, and it seems like now that these a lot of these companies are run by women. Censorship has become far more prevalent, and I think it's one of the reasons why the left, because I think women are more censorious than men,
Or more what?
are more censorious.
Hold on. Say that word one more time.
Censorious
What does that mean?
means they censor.
Did you just make up that word?
He might have.
If I was betting, I think I'd bet that you just
No, it's a word.
made
It's a word. It's spelled CENSO.
up that word.
SORIOUS, censorious. Sometimes I think you come on here just to be a spoiler. Joe and I were having a wonderful conversation, and you've come along and with your porridge and throwing it on the screen, or on our conversation, just right in the middle, like a good chess game.
Research here.
Yes. Now, by the way, let me ask you a question. Wait a minute. I want to say that Darren had a wonderful question. If you were Trump's campaign manager, how would you lead Trump to victory? Hello? Hello? Joe, are you there? Joe? By the way, I was just going to do a really short show, and it's probably I was going to do one for about 15 minutes. And right now, I guess we have things kind of turned off. But I'll get to this point here. If I were Trump, I certainly would have done. I certainly would not have interrupted. If I were to be Trump's campaign manager, I would have told him not to interrupt during the debate.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes. Is
you that was warbling? It was Brian.
I don't know, but we're back. Sorry about that.
Okay. Darren just asked a question.
I see the question.
Okay. How would you handle it?
For one thing, I tell him to shut up. For another, I tell him to stop with the bad optics. Now, nothing he does is right. Did you see him take off his mask when he climbed the stairs?
Yeah.
I
saw how the media made a big deal out of that. Oh, he's COVID, whatever. He's standing at the top of the balcony and he removed his mask. Do you know why he removed his mask?
Why?
Do you wear a mask?
Yes.
Okay. How many, is your apartment several floors above the ground level?
Yes.
Okay. Next time you go out, go into your stairway wearing a mask and walk up 2 flights. And then you let me know how you're breathing. Let me know what it's like to wear a mask and climb 2 flights of stairs when you're not getting properly oxygenated from the outside air because you're rebreathing.
You're breathing your waist.
Breathing out.
You're breathing your waist.
So when Trump ascended those stairs, which was essentially, I would say, 2 flights, and he got to the top, he probably thought, shit, I'm out of breath. And I could use a nice, good breath of air. And what did he do? He instinctively took that mask off. Because climbing stairs wearing a mask will make you tired. In fact, if you keep climbing the stairs, you might pass out. But if I was his campaign manager, I would tell him to stop with the nonsense. He's giving the wrong message. The message is China. And nobody's talking about China. If Biden gets in, you can be sure that China not only is going to eat our lunch, but they're going to eat the lunch of everybody else. In fact, we will probably end up becoming part of China and becoming slaves to these pig-faced cocksuckers over in China. The only thing standing between the world right now and China is Trump. It isn't going to be Biden.
How could he articulate China? Because wouldn't he be called a racist if he was to articulate China?
Who gives a shit about being called a racist? You know what? I hope the next person that utters that word swallows their tongue. Racist. What do I care about whether somebody thinks I'm a racist or not? I'm not a racist. I'm a bigot. And having Trump stand between the free world and China has nothing to do with race. It has to do with communism. So why would you even bring up race when I'm discussing communism? The Chinese are not to be trifled with. Chinese have a lot of power, and no one in the world is going to stand up to them, but the United States doesn't do it. This election should be about China, nothing else. Not about the economy, not about this stupid virus. China. China is the biggest threat there is. There is no bigger threat. Not even the virus that they unleashed upon us. Mm-hmm.
And how would he go about doing it? How would he go about how would he go about, like, tomorrow?
You remove all the dollars that you can from China. China requires dollars in order to trade. Anything that China does, any kind of contract that they get into, is done in dollars, not in renminbi, not in yuan. It's in dollars. So you decouple from China. The reason that China has the power that they have right now is that we made them. We gave them the power. Who do you think gave them? Who do you think gave them all the technology so they can get stuff into space? You can thank Bill Clinton for that and Loral. Remember Loral?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton gave them that technology. We built China. We built the we built the level 4 biolab. Who do you think trained these people how to use a level 4 biolab? Where do you think they were trained? They were trained in America. We trained them. We created them. They're the enemy. There is no greater enemy to America and the rest of the world, not just America, the rest of the world than China.
Can China retaliate against us economically and devastate us?
Damn right they can. You think that our technology, that we have enough to take on China? You think that we're strong enough to do that?
No.
And in a couple of years, China will have grown their military. They will have. They're going around the world causing trouble everywhere, and they don't care. See, when you fight and you're not playing by the rules, how is somebody who is playing by the rules going to win? I would have been okay if Trump had been delirious from the drugs that they gave him, and he dropped a couple of nuclear weapons on Beijing.
Well, yes, well, that would not have gone very well. And that seems to be a rather crackpot idea, but
A crackpot idea?
Dropping nuclear, don't you think they would retaliate? Let me ask you this.
On the world. The Chinese unleashed this virus on the world. Look, I'm not living with this virus. I'm not wearing a mask when I go anywhere, except where these idiots demand that you be wearing a mask. I've watched these people take everybody's temperature. I like to rub my head vigorously before I walk into a mall so it sets off their temperature thing. You know what they do? Not a fucking thing. They do nothing. So all this nonsense with taking your temperature and sitting, social distancing. But there are restaurants where you can't even sit with your family because they have everything set up so that you have to be separated from them. Not so much here anymore, but in many parts of the world. The world has become severely stupid over this virus. It's a virus. It's a man-made virus. It was unleashed by the Chinese, and the Chinese Communist Party should be absolutely constricted until they cannot breathe. These people deserve death. The leaders and the people in the Communist Party deserve death. Nothing short of that. And China needs to be made to pay. And they need to be made to pay so badly that the Chinese people will finally rise up and take over the CCP.
I don't see that as a likelihood of happening, Howard. But yeah, no, that is a point of view. I'll tell you this. I've heard during the Korean War, I believe during the beginnings of the Korean War, there were talks about dropping hydrogen bombs on both China and the Soviet Union at the time. It would have cost a lot of lives. You know what? I think we've exhausted a lot of the points here. Is there anything? Because I'm gonna. Yes.
Exhausted is you.
That may be true. I'm exhausted. So, Joe, do you want to continue the show?
Why are you exhausted? Why would you be exhausted? Did you find that this discussion was exhausting?
No, I actually needed it. I actually want to go to the store and get myself a bit of an energy drink to give myself a little bit of a boost.
An energy drink, and will this be a diet energy drink, or will this be a sugar-laden energy drink?
It is a sugar-free energy drink, which is probably worse than the sugar drinks.
Yeah, that's right, because it's full of NutraSweet. Why would you drink something like that?
It might be Splenda they're using.
Well, same thing. I don't really care.
Or stevia.
Do you not have wait a minute? Do you not have a kettle to make hot water?
Yes.
And do you have tea bags?
Yeah.
Why don't you make iced tea?
Anyway,
why would you need to go to the store to find a beverage?
I have a craving for a beverage right now. There's a certain beverage at a certain store. Actually, I was going to do that, but the gentleman had broken his key in the door, and I couldn't go to the store. So now I'm going to go to the store and see.
Wait. I have to comment. I have to comment on this awful clash of colors that just appeared. That red hat and that barf green shirt that you're wearing just does not match.
It is. I'm representing Philadelphia.
Certainly not with that barf green shirt.
He's representing your old city. Do you miss Philadelphia, Howard?
Philadelphia is a shithole. Philadelphia has been run by black people for as long as I can remember. And they have destroyed that city because that's what they do. Again, we had this discussion the last time. I asked you what place in the world was run by black people that has had any success at all. Any? No. And certainly not Philadelphia or Chicago. Look at the representation that Chicago has with that bizarre-looking woman with the eyes so far apart. She may qualify to be I don't even know, not a snake, but she qualifies. She looks like an insect with the hair that she's got and the eyes like that. She's just a very ugly woman, but not only is she ugly, she's stupid. And that's a bad combination. And now the black people in Chicago, I guess they voted for her because she's black. She black. I love saying it. She black. She black. I just watched 3 black women on some video on YouTube talking about Kamala Harris. And she went to Howard University. Now, I thought Kamala Harris was Indian. I didn't think she was black. But the women said that. She black. She black. She ready for this. She ready. Not even English is destroyed by these people. They don't use proper sentences. She black. She ready. Who speaks this way? And who wants to speak this way? When language goes, so do morals and ethics and everything along with it. When these people sit around and they can't even take time to properly put a sentence together, why would you expect that anything that they do is going to be worthwhile?
All right, Brian, where are you at? Do you want to keep going, or are you done?
I was listening.
He wants to keep going, and he looks like a pussy if he goes to sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to bed yet. I was going to get myself an energy drink, but you are continuing to.
No, wait. That makes no sense. So you want to go to sleep, but you want to have an energy drink.
I didn't say I wanted to go to sleep. I don't think I said that.
Well, are you not going to Betty Bye?
It's almost by time.
I will go to Betty Bye, but I'm going to have a little bit of an energy drink. Take maybe a few laps around the blocky poo.
Okay, I drink a double espresso before I go to bed, but I don't think that's normal for most people. I wouldn't suggest that you go get yourself a non-sugar energy drink full of who knows what, because there's nothing. Really, how do you feel going to buy a beverage, and how much would this beverage cost you?
I don't know, $2.
$2 for what? 16 ounces or 12?
I don't know.
They're like in big old. I think they're like 16 ounce or 24.
Are you really going to go get yourself a big gulp? Is that what you're telling me? Is it going to be?
You're going to get a big gulp?
Be a big gulp sized non-sugar drink?
It's not going to be that big. No, it's in a can actually. I got 3 of them yesterday, and it's an orange. It's a new thing. I forget the name of it, but I'm going to do that. And
wouldn't you be better buying a pound of bacon and cooking it up?
I don't want bacon.
I'm sorry. I don't believe that, because you look like a man who could eat a pound of bacon.
Yes, but I don't want it right now. If I wanted a pound of bacon, I would say, I'm hungry for a pound of bacon.
Why don't you make yourself a nice cup of hot tea? You can hold the cup in your hands. You can warm your hands as you're drinking the tea. It would be beneficial. You might find peace and solace in the tea.
Because I don't feel like it right now. Now we're talking about tea.
You would rather walk to the. I'm sorry. Is this a what kind of neighborhood do you live in?
It's there is value in the exercise. I say go out and.
There's value in the exercise.
You'll probably get mugged.
Not where I live.
Oh, you live in a place that's safe?
Not as safe as it can be, but it's safe.
I don't think that where you're living is safe. I think it's become much less unsafe than it was.
Perhaps. Oh yeah. No, I would. It's just become. There are portions that have become less safe. I'll agree with you on that. I'm not
Are
going to go.
are you not fearful? Are you not fearful that behind the bush could be a Hurricane Dean waiting to kill you with liberal ideas and nonsense?
All right, are we done? All right, finish it.
Not at the moment. No, I'm not. And maybe I'm too ignorant to know that I should be. Joe, I think it's time that we end it. Howard, do you have anything to add before we call this puppy a night?
It's almost good. Where Howard was going tonight, almost.
Well, why did it stop?
Because after a while, things get stale. This movie has to end. The audience may go to Betty Bye. We have an audience here, and I don't think it's captive anymore.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that you have an audience?
Actually, our audience is saying don't stop.
That was just one person that said that. I don't think that.
Well, there's 0 people that said to stop it.
Well, I think after a while, though, you know what you want to. Here's the thing, Joey. In the movie business, what my old man used to say: you always leave them wanting more.
Yes.
Because then they'll go back for repeat business. They may get see it again. Star Wars was not 3 hours. People saw that film like me 7, 8 times. So
Before you go, I have a question for Joe.
All right, go ahead.
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Your only hope.
Why does where the room that you're in appear to look like a garage? Is it a garage?
Yes, it is.
And ask how many people are in the freezer there.
This garage is going to look very different in a few months.
So why are you in the garage?
Sometimes I work here and sometimes I work inside. Today I'm working outside.
Not a matter of working there. You've got a complete setup with microphone and everything. You're in the garage. You're in the garage for a reason. Why?
This is just a microphone plugged into my laptop.
No, it looks like a little bit more substantial setup than just plugged in.
That's all it is. I figured out that's the best way to run a Mac. Just mic into the computer.
I've noticed that you're in front of those cabinets and they have a very garage look to them. Why is that?
Because they're in the garage.
Right. You're in the garage.
Well,
are
the
you
cabinets
living
are
in your garage?
Am I what?
Are you living in your garage?
No, I'm not.
Does anyone live in your garage?
There might be in a few months. We're converting it. In the process of converting
What? What are you converting your garage
to a livable space.
Are you giving up on your cars? Are you going to be walking from now on?
No, but I did just get an e-bike and I love it. I highly recommend one.
All right,
what is an e-bike?
It's an electric bike. Okay, look,
this is
can we
becoming
just really wants to go?
getting out here, guys.
Who was just maimed on an electric bike?
Oh, I heard about that. Don't watch the news, Howard. All right, that's it. We're done.
All right, guys. Hey, if you like the show and you
You
believe,
were done when you started.
okay,
No, it's just we were just getting warmed up. To be honest, I can do a 3-hour show tonight.
I'm sure you can. How
well,
many?
I'm gonna go. You know what? If you want to continue the show, I'm gonna go to the store first.
End it so I take a break. We might do another one though.
We might do another one.
He's gonna go drink
You
energy
won't
drink.
do another one.
He's drinking energy drinks. What else is he gonna do?
An energy drink, and
I'll be out of his mind in an hour.
Listen,
I'm gonna flamboy you. I'm
Flamboy him.
gonna flamboy you, play you, verbally, Howard. Verbally. You're gonna get the what for me, Howard. You're gonna get the what 4.
I'm gonna flamboy you.
I do have a question for Brian.
Yes.
When you go to what kind of store is this?
It is a 7-Eleven.
A 7-Eleven. So I was not far off when I said that you were going there for a Slurpee.
By the way, I have 9 dislikes already.
9?
Is and none from me. Is 7-Eleven now selling sugar-free Slurpees?
Yes, they look awful. His gas must be absolutely multiplied its most awful scent by 10. I think that's going to be his gas bombs.
Don't you have another type of
Multiplied it
other
most
7-Eleven?
All right, who the hell is putting all the dislikes on there? We already have 9 dislikes, by the way. Can you believe that?
9 dislikes. You should be shot. Whoever's doing that, stop it.
Howard, are you doing that nonsense? Are you giving us 9 dislikes after we let you into our home here?
Debbie probably did it.
Why would I put a dislike on a show that I'm on?
I don't think you did this time. You've been busy. You could have, but
No, I have not.
Debbie,
I don't
I'll
think you
give
did.
you a like just to balance you out.
thank you.
More Antifa. All right, Brian,
How
go
many
get your drink.
Antifa can you fit in the garage?
All right, hey guys, like and subscribe, and yeah,
How
like
are
and
you put a straw into your drink? Is this going to be in a can or a bottle?
it's going to be in a can, and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to mix it with iced tea. 9 dislikes, Howard. Can you believe that nonsense?
Will you clean your hands before you open it?
No, I won't. I'm going to put them dirty.
They're attempting to silence you, Brian. You definitely need to fight back with a second show.
Maybe I'll do that. All right, I'm going to talk to you guys later.
I'm
All
sorry.
right,
What is that behind you?
It is behind me is that is alcohol rub.
That looks like
It's rubbing alcohol to your face, Howard.
The wall behind you. It's now obscured by your very large head.
Spray with alcohol rub.
um,
You're infectious.
And could you just lower those glasses an inch so I can see if your eyebrows have grown back?
what? I see growth.
And I would like you to explain to me, how did you manage to do that to your eyebrows?
I don't know, Howard. All right, guys.
Physician's desk reference must have a code for that. Have you been to the doctor for this affliction?
No, not yet, Howard. All right, guys, are we ready to call this show a day? 9.
Goodbye.
Guys, hey, like and subscribe and leave a comment. Hey, by the way, those of you who have dared to put a thumbs down, I wish you would tell me why. It's really not nice.
9 dislikes with only 8 listens. So obviously somebody with many accounts went in there and did the nasty. And there's a I guess you can go into a show with your account and you could give a thumbs down. That's 1 thumbs down. That is typically the rule. So if you're going and changing your accounts, that's ridiculous. I'm not saying it's against YouTube policy to do that. I just think it's ridiculous.
Howard?
He's gone. He's logged off.
All right. I'm I'm done. All right. Guys, like and subscribe. Hey, guys, those of you who are listening, there are people that really don't like me. I don't know why. I'm not that evil of a person. I've never killed anyone. Now there's like Debbie, can you put a like on the thing right now? Can you just press the like button? How about you, Darren? Can you just press the like button? No one's gonna hurt you. Hey, Nick, you bastard, can you press the like button? I think it's Nick doing all that. All right, guys. Hey,
All right, yeah.
hit the like button. We've got like 9 dislikes. Someone really hates me. I don't know why. I have no idea. But you know what? Someone's opinion of me is really not my business. All right, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And hit the bell icon to tell you more. All right, Joe, that'll do it for today. Thanks for listening. We may come back. Then again, we may not. Thank you for listening, everyone. Howard?